on Triple M.
That's the man, that's the voice, and he joins us live in the studio as we speak. It's Broden Kelly. How are you, Broden?
How many sleeps till the footy, everyone? Come on.
Here we go.
Let's rev up.
Yeah, now you're a Melbourne supporter. You're not a typical Melbourne supporter, are you? You're
No,
not
I've never had-
stereotypical.
I've never had a Penfolds Grange in my life.
Never
I
had
haven't
it.
negative geared anything.
What's
mate.
the most Melbourne? What's the most Melbourne thing you do?
Well, I'll wear a collared shirt from time to time. you know?
You hunt your staff
Hunt-
sometimes.
yeah, hunt your stuff, of course.
your
Yeah, well,
stuff.
come on,
You
we're all
been on a
human.
fox hunt?
Oh, yeah, once or twice, you know what I mean? You know, absolutely. You know, it's great to be. How many sleeps until the foot?
9.
You've already gone off, Roo.
Shots fired.
So I grew up in Adelaide for a brief period. I'm a Melbourne boy through and through, but I grew up there. And let me tell you something about 1997. My family would drive back to Melbourne for the school holidays during the grand final period.
Yeah.
And this is why I think Saints fans have this complex with Adelaide. Because I remember as soon as we got over the Victorian border, there was a dead crow hanging from a bridge. And there's just something about the mentality of St Kilda people with Adelaide people they've never gotten over. What is it with you people?
It's a warning. It's like when you're driving through,
It's
the cartel-controlled areas and you there's bodies. Yeah.
That's what I remember.
the
I was,
Colombian necktie
Yeah,
on a
correct.
crow.
Yeah, correct.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, that was pre me arriving at St Kilda.
Yeah.
But I do notice that there is a disdain for Adelaide fans
Yeah.
and the Adelaide Football Club from a lot of St Kilda people because of 97.
Grand final.
Because of 97. Because of Darren Jarman. Essentially.
Jarman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you've never gotten over it. But
No.
St Kilda fans, I feel like you have the most interesting personality out of all 18 clubs, I think. There's just something
Yeah.
about you. It's the pain mixed with the sort of down by the beach, the Palais,
Yeah.
Luna Park
Sort
energy.
of a rock star vibe from
Yeah.
back in the Trevor Barker days.
Yeah,
and-
the-
I think it's trauma.
Yeah, that's the word, trauma. That's the one,
There's always been
absolutely.
a few loose cannons down there.
Yeah.
And Moorabbin has a
Yeah.
history.
Yep.
A nightclub there.
Yeah, well,
disco.
our weights room was the old Moorabbin disco.
Yeah.
So there was a sunken like little dance floor with a disco ball above it in the
In
middle
your
of
weights
our
room.
weights room.
Your roller skates?
Yeah,
This
it was
is why
great.
you've never
Those
won a
walls,
flag
could, those walls could talk.
Oh yeah,
in modern times. So you aware that he's got a big brouhaha going with Mark Rashuda?
Yeah, I've seen that between the Brownlow medalist and the 2002 Rising Star. That's very exciting. But no, it's
That should be a title fight. That should be a pay-per-view.
How's that going to go, do you reckon? So do we need to,
I think you just need to last a few rounds. I think if you get to round 6 or 7,
Yep.
you'll get through. But do not get hit, mate. Don't take one hit.
just duck and weave.
Yeah, just duck and wait
Duck
for
and
6 or
wait.
7.
you think he'll tire himself out? It's got real Mike Tyson, Jake Paul vibes,
It does,
doesn't it?
yeah. It does exactly. It's exactly the same. But I think there's a list of AFL teams that I'm still mad at.
Now, explain this to me. What have they done to you to deserve your wrath?
Well, the first one is Sydney. They ruined my grand final, Mick.
Yeah, that
It was
was two they've ruined now.
30 degrees, sunny, beautiful,
beautiful,
day.
wasn't it?
Did not show up, and I'm still mad at them until I see them show up into the fourth quarter of a grand final. They're in my bad books,
They
Mick.
are done and
They can
dusted.
get stuffed.
All right, I hear that.
That's fair.
GWS were in front by 100 points to Brisbane
Well, that's
and
true.
Sydney. They can get stuffed.
Yes. Yep.
Until they show up, they can get stuffed.
I hear you. It's strong words, but I'll go with you.
Teams I'm afraid of. Geelong, as always.
I'm afraid of them.
Why?
Yeah, because they're
Because
going to.
they always top up and they always are competitive and they're going to make a prelim. They
Yeah.
never, if they don't make a prelim, it's heads roll down there.
Yeah.
They've got the greatest home ground advantage in the AFL. Doesn't stop them whinging. How they top up, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Where are they coming from?
How these third-party agreements, I'd just like to see some paperwork, please.
Yes, please.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
And also, they should have won the grand final last year, arguably. They were up by, 5 points or something like that with a minute left in the prelim against Brisbane.
Yes.
That was the grand final.
It's like the prelim against Richmond. They didn't get across the line, or indeed the grand final against Richmond, where they didn't get across the line. I've got both on tape.
Yeah, please,
Anyone would
Broden,
like to see them?
continue.
Speaking of teams that have
on
upset
quickly,
Richmond,
Braden.
Collingwood. I'm afraid of Collingwood.
Boy,
as
well,
always.
Collingwood, I ran into,
Collingwood.
can I say this? I ran into Peter Dacos, senior.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was he just having a break from being out the stud?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was pushing
Dacos
his
boys.
bottom up and down at the time.
His kids are so good that he has his own cologne.
Well, he is so bullish on Collingwood. He reckons you get on, is what he's saying.
Tim
Oh.
Membry, eh?
Tim Membry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skunk.
Yeah.
Good man, Tim
And
Membry.
then my new I'm afraid of is Freo.
Oh, you've gone too far now.
I'm really worried.
I wish
about
No one
that.
in the
Why?
history of
Why?
time.
I
Why
wish
are you
we
afraid
played
of
them
them?
3 times.
Weren't they vanilla?
Yeah, they've got their mining money. They got that flowing long hair, which I'm jealous of over there. They're just coming off Cotters Low and they're feeling good about themselves. We've had a gutful of them already.
All right, hold that insane thought. More with Broden Kelly in just a moment. Yes, the voice behind the show.
Yes.
You really do sound great. You sound
And
amazing.
sometimes I'm at home listening, and then Rose will go, "Thank you, Broden, for that."
I
And I'll
like
be-
thanking you.
and it freaks me out in bed or driving to work. But I do enjoy it. I have a very unique experience on
You would never have heard "Thank you, Broden" in bed before.
guilty as charged.
True or
Bad
false?
lover.
You were down the weights room the other day, duking it out with Michael Voss.
Yeah, at 7 in the
Oh,
morning on Friday.
What are
Okay.
you doing, mate?
Well, I heard the story that he walked into the weights room with Carlton one day with all the young guys there, and just without warming up, went on the bench, put his legs up, and then just pumped out about 100, like 4 or 5 reps, and then walked out. And so
It's a flex.
yeah.
It's a flex.
And so I thought I could try and outbench him. So I went down for my podcast and tried to outbench him, and I didn't do that. But he did get me to my personal best,
Which is
90.
that's good.
So I'm a big boy.
What's the podcast? Where can people catch up with us?
You can listen to the Footy with Brian Kelly on the internet.
On the internet.
Internet.
Oh, that's going to take off the
Yeah.
internet.
It's it's like Mick in the morning, but whenever you want.
Yeah,
It's a great podcast.
Is it? Oh, you've been on.
Your
Mick, you've been on.
podcast. It's a great
I've been on.
podcast.
I love it.
Nick?
Your
Go there,
cousin's been on.
You invited Nick on yet?
Mick's been on.
No,
I can't
Nick.
believe
Nick.
You haven't
Yes.
No,
invited
I
Nick
haven't
on?
been invited.
Roo, you can come on
Yeah.
any time, mate.
That'd
if
be
you
great.
ever think about travelling north of the river, you can come up to Brunswick, mate.
Oh, mate, you'll have to pass a few checkpoints first and show us his paperwork before. Wind the window down, please, Mr. Rewald. We'll need to see those papers.
Checkpoint Charlie when you cross the Yarra.
You speaking of beautiful Melbourne and its idiosyncrasies, the coffee awards you were talking about yesterday,
yes.
the Global
yeah.
Coffee Awards.
Proud
So Proud
Mary.
Mary, yeah.
Proud Mary at 4, and then Vienna
In
got
the
it-
world.
Yep, in the world, and then Arkansas at 2, and then Sydney at number 1.
It's hard to take.
Shocking.
Best, and we are the coffee people.
We are the coffee
That's
headquarters of the world.
That's all we've got. So I've had a gutful,
Oh, you've had a gut.
Oh, not happy.
PO'd, mate.
Oh,
And so I thought, instead of trying to get back that branding, let's just rebrand. I'm sick of these latte sipping people north of the river in Sydney, la-di-da-arty types. Down here in Melbourne, we do things a bit simpler. I'll take my cappuccino extra large with 9 sugars, thanks very much. We're a town that names streets after Akadaka, not knocks down the bloody house, you pack of sooks. We don't need coffee. We've got hardball gets, Eastlink, an airport that is impossible to get to or leave. All we need is meat and 2 veg, the big V, and we'll bloody stick it right up you. Get stuffed, Sydney. Thank you.
yes.
Someone had to say it.
Yeah.
Someone had to say
I've
it.
had a gutful.
Really?
You've had a
Yeah,
gutful.
angry.
That's going to cause
Thank you,
a Gaza Strip style war
Yeah, diplomatic
between us.
incident.
You don't want to be living on the river right now.
No, a bit of high vis, I reckon. Well, that's our new branding now, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're around that area. Where's do you have a coffee shop?
In Melbourne?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm
What's your
actually
coffee shop?
I'm a Padre guy. Actually, I love they've got a beautiful roast, which I actually really enjoy. Obviously, Market Lane do coffee like nowhere else.
Oh, yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, but I think just get
single
out-
origin guy. What are
yeah,
you?
single origin,
Oh,
batch
yeah?
brew. Yeah, try different ones as well. Keep evolving.
What's the one? The one no, I don't get it, but I'm sure Proud Mary has it. It's the one that's the most expensive in the world because some lemur eats nuts and then shits them out.
Yeah, poos.
Yeah.
And then poos them out, and then a barista apparently runs into the paddock, grabs the
The poo.
poo, and percolates it, and people pay like $200, $300 for
It's
it.
like a Kongwak or something. No, what's it called? It's in
say
Bali. You
Kongwak.
can buy them in Bali.
I had an amazing one the other day up near the Queen Vic markets. It was like a cold brew with cream, a layer of cream,
Yeah.
and then lemon zest
Yeah.
on top. They call it a Mont Blanc.
Yeah,
Oh,
now we're
come
cooking.
No, I'm
on.
serious. It was so
Lemon
good.
zest.
Lemon zest,
Ugh.
Mont Blanc. It's super
And
simple.
it's cold.
delicious.
Call me
Yeah, it
old
was
fashioned,
great.
but nothing wrong with the international roast. It's just It
No.
just keeps coming.
Comes in a can.
It has its moments when it's actually the perfect drink. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It reminds you of your nana and your granddad,
That's
and
right.
exactly
It
right.
used to be the only option.
Absolutely.
What was the other one with the grains?
Makona?
Makona.
Oh.
That's
the
fancy.
Yeah,
Makona.
we're cooking.
It used to
Yeah.
be like Ford Holden, Coke, Pepsi. Are you Makona or International
And you
Roast?
just put it after
And if those
dinner.
two crowds met, boy,
Oh,
it'd be a
they're
very.
throwing stools like Punt Road the other night.
Do the little mint slices in the individual packets.
Oh,
they were
the
Serve that all
best.
together at
The
once.
after dinner mints.
How is the proper way to make one of them? Because some people say you put a little bit in and you mix it with milk and then you do this whole la-di-da, or do you just, what do you do?
I just go hot water straight in.
There we
Bang.
go. No time for any of that stuff around.
We're not here for a haircut.
From an urn,
Live
too.
shows, what's happening? Are
Yeah.
you sold out? Are you putting on more shows? What are you doing?
I'm doing the proper gather round next week, the Adelaide Fringe, the original
the
gather round.
Adelaide Fringe, which
yeah.
is a ripper.
Beautiful, and then we're here for Melbourne for the entire month. It's going to be great.
You've added shows to the comedy festival here, haven't
yeah,
you?
it's moving, mate. It's moving.
Thanks.
Is it? It's moving.
It's moving, mate.
Shifting some units,
Shit.
are you?
yeah. Got to get a few pellets in there. You know what I mean? A few pellets of ticket sales.
I think we're done. Bro, Kelly,
out of
thank
here.
you once again.
Thanks,
Top
legends.
shelf.
Can you say back in 30 seconds?
Back in 30 seconds with
Mick in the morning with